Hello, Duke's here. Your old YouTube friend, pal, guy that occasionally 20 to 30 people watch. So thank you. Um, this is a game that's been out for about a year. Don't think it came out in early access. It feels early accessy. The music's getting a little bit loud here. Oh. And they're constantly changing things, not always for the better. They break things a lot. I tried the new beta. So much stuff was broken that it was just bad, and so I backed up. So I'm just on the current release build. So hopefully in the future we'll go to the fancier beta build, which is going to add more airplanes and stuff, which is one of the things I've been waiting for. So it's basically Guadalcanal. Or Watchtower, as the Americans called it, and takes place on the Solomons and the area above, Australia. That's the whole game, basically, and you're trying to take various things. So these are two you can play as Japan or the U.S. We're going to play as the U.S. Just because I've had more practice with them. I know the planes and I know the ships. Well, I know all the stuff, I guess, equally, but I don't know. I just think it's more fun. So here's some information. Read all the stuff if you'd like. So this is after Midway. And finally, we're in the summary. Start on August 7th. And we have some missions, which is to take these two territories and build an airfield on it. That'll actually take quite a while. I'm not sure. I've never actually got more than maybe a month into the game before I've been like, I gotta start over and maintain control of the stuff that basically we already have, except for these two. But we'll take those and Malatia, which is there. So we'll take those all pretty swiftly here. We're paused. The game runs on these command points down here. This is the full map, zoomed out all the way. We can turn on some extra bits if we wanted, like weather. There you go. I know it's a little hard to understand. Basically, the higher the number, the more severe the weather condition is there. So down here, we're in pretty severe weather coming up to Rennell Island, and a lot of wind and stuff as well, which is good because we're going to be sending a lot of convoys out. If we get rid of this, I think you can see my cursor in this capture mode. I hope you can, because I'm pointing to stuff. Anyway, this is our main base, New Hebrides, where we can build all of our sea and our seer, our sea and our air, and it's level 5 on both, and we're going to have to send convoys out to take these points. Of course, here's Guadalcanal, and there's the Florida Islands. And basically, we want to set ourselves up, probably from Rennell Island, to actually have good air cover in this area. Because if we just kind of run for it, we can probably land Marines and stuff there pretty quickly. But it's going to be hard to get support in because the Japanese will absolutely fill the slot, which is what they call this area here, with heavy cruisers and stuff. Same thing if we ran up and tried to take this. We can probably take it. I don't know how long we would hold it for. Probably be okay for a little while because the heavy cruisers at worst would just bombard the island, which I think doesn't actually damage your troops. It just damages the infrastructure level. So if we had nothing there, it wouldn't be a big deal. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to skip some of the air stuff because it's going to get busy and boring in a hurry. I'll show you a little bit if we come over here to Milne Bay and say new air. We're going to send out one Hellcat. Basically going to do this in several places. And we want him to do like a search pattern here. Now these have terrible range, 200 endurance. So something like that, he'll kind of go and hang out in these places for a bit and he'll go back and land. And when it's dark yellow like that, it means he's going to keep doing that over and over again. All day. And then he'll do it again the next day. So that's what he's going to do. Now I'm going to set up basically several of those in all of these spots, and some down here with some ASW stuff as well. And I'll show you those when we get to that point. So you can see we got some planes around here. I turn the music down as well because it seemed a little bit loud. And that's, I'd probably get a copyright strike or something on it anyway. Not that it matters. Let's see, and we're going to say new air. So I've deployed several wildcats that are kind of just doing search patterns and things. I'm going to get some Avengers. Now, it seems like it's almost impossible to actually see submarines with aircraft anymore. You definitely used to be able to. I don't think you can anymore. So that's a pretty good search pattern right there. Anyway, I'm gonna deploy. Oh right, because it's a ship weapon, we have to wait a bit before we can deploy another one. So we'll start with our sea stuff. Now, there's a couple strategies that I have in mind for this. We can get relatively cheap destroyers. We'll send destroyers up here, and up here to drop off troops and supplies to just take these islands, so that they're ours. And that won't cost very many points. Another thing we could do is get a convoy up here, and we can get a base built. But we're only going to have we'll only have a few strike craft at Rennell Island, especially to start with. But it probably costs about 100 points, and maybe we could do it cheaper than that to actually get a couple, like a level 2 airfield here. And that's going to be quite difficult. Plus, we need some ships to just run ASW, because that's anti-submarine, by the way, anti-submarine warfare. The Japanese will send out about a bajillion million submarines. So we basically need craft that are just looking for them constantly, especially in this kind of triangle here of stuff. Triangle? It's a lopsided diamond. To protect our shipping and our big ships once we put some of those out. I don't think it's a good idea to put any out at the start. And in this area as well, I usually get a submarine over here, maybe a couple destroyers eventually over here, just kind of protect this area. And it's kind of an early warning if there's big ships coming that are going to try to come around to bombard places like Port Moresby or Cooktown, because Cooktown has a level 5 airfield, so it's got B-17s, which are fantastic strike aircraft, and we want to be able to get those out into this area. They can come pretty far out, like probably about here somewhere, maybe even a little bit further, to nail stuff. So we want to protect that one more so than Moresby, but Moresby is an objective that we need to protect, so that's why we got to protect it. So with that being said, I think that I want to get a convoy up here. So let's start with the destroyers. So we're going to do New Sea. We'd like American stuff, since that's what we can build. And we want farragates. They have dual-purpose guns. They have 60 depth charges. I don't think anything carries more depth charges than that. No. So that would be nice if they did. But they don't. This has torpedoes as well. It's got fewer guns. You can see it's only got 4. A Porter has 8. But no dual purpose, which is kind of what we were looking for in this case. Same thing with the Mahan. So we're going to spit a couple farragates out. Say done with them. Manage cargo. Give this guy some troops. Give this guy some supplies. They're going to set a course for the Santa Cruz Islands. And we're done with them. Now we're going to do the same again, pretty much. Done. Manage cargo, troops, supplies, course. These guys are going up here to Malatia, or however that's pronounced. And as you can imagine, we're doing, well, I probably won't send another one up to here, because we're going to send a transport up to do that. So I think I'm going to send a pair over here. And we're done with that. So we'll give these names. I'll give them names in the interim, so that you don't need to see that boring shenanigan take place. And we're going to do something like that, and then we'll say course. Oh, no we won't, because that's not the right button. So you're going to see me press a lot of wrong buttons. And apologies if you hear my lovely doggo, because I can hear him making noises. Then we're going to say repeat. That's not quite what I wanted, so let me try that again, because this is a little bit finicky, this system. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to dispatch them, and then we'll get their course set up once they go over there. Okay, great. Have we got all these inserted? No, we still got 2 more, so that's good. So unfortunately left that, I closed that for some reason. And done. Now we don't need that. So that's all the Farragut's in service now. And these guys are going to go from here to here. Like this. Nope, this... Nope, you need to... You're stupid. Stop doing that. Okay, now click this button. There we go. So that's... Well, it's got a little bit of a lump. But they're going to go back and forth and look for submarines. That's what they're doing. Okay. New sea. Now we're going to do the more interesting one. We want something with dual purpose, guns. Well, first off, let's just get our oilers in. So we need 2 oilers. Okay, they're $15 a piece. Then you're going to move the fuel to the next base, and we're going to need some merchants as well. At least 2 for engineering, 1 for troops, and another of supplies. Now, probably 2 supply. And then we'll go for our destroyers, finally. And ideally we want something not going to cost us 10, like a Fletcher. But we might have to go with that, you know. So the Benham is dual purpose, but it's only got 4. Sims, Benson, Greaves. Those are all the same, basically. I mean, we really just need... It's going to be destroyers. Destroyers? It's going to be more submarines that they encounter, more than anything else. These are not surface action destroyers, because dual-purpose guns, they've got fewer guns. And you just... I mean, this one's even got fewer torpedoes. So you don't want to use those in surface action at all. So we're going to take 2 Mahans. Unfortunately, that one's called Cummings. Terrible. We're just going to... That's probably fine. That's good. That's going to leave us with 92. So that'll leave us with a fair jag of points. So we'll say done. Let's see. We're going to rearrange this. Line ahead is probably fine. We don't want these guys... We want a destroyer in the front. We don't want the oilers near the front either. Because they will get shot first. Because the submarines seem to shoot whatever's in the front first. So let's swap those and then swap this. There we go. So we've got destroyer in the back and in front. Oilers are kind of in the back. There we go. In the back. And I'm happy with that. So we're going to send this up here. And they're going to take Rennell Island for us. And we're going to load these guys up. So let's do this first. Engineering. Engineering. Some supplies. Some troops. Some supplies. Then fuel. Fuel. And you can load your destroyers with stuff like we did before. However, they do take a penalty in combat. In this case, it's probably okay, because they're just going to be doing anti-submarine stuff. 1,200 troops also landing on that island is probably more than enough to defend it, at least until we get more stuff there, if it was to be attacked. So I'm not worried about that. So I think we're done there. I think everybody's carrying something. It should just easier to go like this. Cargo, 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 cargo. Yes, yes, and yes. So they're going to go off. And so we've got 60 points left. And what I'm going to buy with those is some nice submarines. We're going to get some Gatos. And we're going to go for the Hammerhead. He's going to go up here into the slot, and he's just going to check this out, basically. That's all he's going to do. Now, I don't know why I keep closing that one, because I need that. Maybe it closes automatically. Anyway. And he's going to come over here. Oop, oop, and he's going to kind of check out this coast area. And, oh, it does. You do need to just open it again. You'd think I would know that. I've played about 40 hours of this game. And he's going to come up here and go like this way. And I'd like one more, I think. Oops, sorry. You see, yes, done, of course. And he's going to go that way. That leaves us with 20 points. If we need to throw some destroyers or perhaps a light cruiser out there for some reason. So there we go, we're set up. So what I'm going to do here is save. And we're going to start the game going here. Now you're going to see all the airplanes moving. And they're moving in their little patterns that I've set up. We're going to set up a new one for Hebrides here. And you're going to take depth charges. And you're going to kind of go out this way. Like that. These have better range, so they can do a little bit further. And I want to set up one more, which has just come out now. It's being available. Make sure we put depth charges on. And we're going to just do the course manually. We're pretty much going to have them go almost all the way to Rennell Island, just to kind of check that sea lane for us. Now, did I... There we go. Have him on repeat so that he keeps doing that. There we go. So you can see our planes are going to kind of fly around. Did I not give this guy orders, or what's he just hanging out for? I guess I didn't. So I think he was one of my long-range searchers. So he's going to kind of come out like this. Not quite that far. And maybe better to angle than that, like that. There we go. And you're going to see our destroyers are all pretty quick. So they're going to lightning out of here. The convoys and the subs are the slowest. So they're going to hang out kind of in the back. And you can see time's going by. And at about 1800, we'll no longer be able to fly aircraft. It'll be too dark. We just saw some float planes there. So there's probably a submarine in the area, which is, of course, annoying to know. So what I'm going to do is dispatch a pair of these guys. That we're going to kind of run these guys ourselves. It's a good chance that this guy will run into a destroyer, or he's already been by the destroyers, and they've decided, nah, I don't really want to attack on a destroyer. Because I'm a submarine, I'm not an idiot, so that guy's run out of range and he's returning. Now, I don't see any float planes now, of course, because it's dark. And so we're going to put it on max time, which is going to really zip it up here. And now this chap is, I think he's, he has made it. Oops, there we go. And so we've taken control of that. So now what we're going to do with him is set a course here. Like that. And this is going to be Santa Cruz ASW. Okay, good. Great, fine. And everybody's pleased. So we're going to let him just go back and forth. These guys are the ones going way over there. This is just our back and forth guy. Our convoy's making good progress. They're going to make the most progress at night. And it's going to come up to 5 o'clock there, which it has. And it will remember all of our previous day's stuff, which is nice. Used to not do that. And it's going to send them out automatically, and they're going to look around for some ships and things. These guys are really just kind of flying, these two groups are kind of flying protective routes. These guys might see airplanes once in a while, kind of over here. These guys might spot ships. There's some float planes there that we spotted briefly. You guys close enough? No. So we'll get them up a little bit further here. Now what I really should have done is sent a light cruiser with these guys. So that they would have had some float planes with them. I don't know how much that would have slowed them down. However, now I want to get these guys out of the slot quick, because they really shouldn't be hanging out there. And we're going to kind of put them down here on this ASW course. Okay, so we've got an encounter. Now, believe it or not, it's Task Force 19, so that's probably bad. I would say good chance this is going to be a heavy destroyer flotilla from the Japanese. We'll go and check this out. Now remember, these are ships that we can take acceptable losses in regards to these ships. That's an island. I thought I saw a plane briefly, but that could have been a speck on my monitor. It sure looks like it was. And we spotted some ships. Now, if we go and look at these ships, okay, we'll see that it's a very large flotilla compared to what we have, which is basically nothing. So we're going to go ahead and turn our radars and stuff off because we don't want to see them, and we're going to retreat, and we'll have to wait about 2 minutes before we can actually escape. Now, they haven't spotted us, believe it or not, because they'd be shooting at us if they had. Now, this is 2 heavy cruisers with large shooters on them. If we just have a quick look here at what these possibly are. This is an AOB, I believe. Sure looks like that, doesn't it? So that's an AOB. There's 2 in the class. We can take a look at what it's got for shooters. It's got 8-inch guns with a 3,200 yard range. They're 1,600 yards away from us. We're also within range of their secondary guns, which is another 5-inch gun. So they could absolutely rip our buttholes wide and cleanly open if they were interested in that. And I didn't realize they carried depth charges. That's very strange. But, so yeah, that's... yeah, this is not the same class as that one. This is something else. This is a Takao, or Takao. Again, big guns, we're in range. It's got a lot of depth charges. Even these are light cruisers. And this is, well, I believe this is a Tenryu. Oh, they've spotted us. So they're now firing away. It's not a Tenryu. It's a Kuma. So it's a Kuma. Let's have a look. It's got 5.5 inches. Yes, they have spotted us at this point. Now, we won't be returning fire because we're trying to retreat. We've got another minute or so to go, so we're going to slap up the time here. We're going to do a bit of an evasive maneuver as well. Going to slap on some smoke, and then we're going to leave. And we're leaving, and we actually did take a strike there at some point, either when we weren't looking or right there at the end. So, now hopefully these guys are going to get out of here all right. They probably are going to get chased over and over, repeatedly be attacked now. Those ships are just going to follow them. If that's the case, well, unless something dramatic happens, we'll skip past that. They're getting away all right. Okay, they might be able to hang out around there. Okay. So what we can do is... yeah. Get some Avengers with rockets on them. Which is, you know, not the most effective weapon unless you're firing at something like a merchant. But we just want to use them as kind of scouts, long-range scouts at the moment. Now submarines are coming up. They're going to be in position. There's another aircraft from probably a float plane from a Japanese submarine. So we did just see that float plane flying over these guys. So I'm guessing this is going to be a submarine, but it could be that big surface task force is following them. So either is likely. Now, you have to be a little bit gamey on this, or you will get yourself in trouble. Right there are torpedoes. So what we're going to do is full speed ahead, turn off our radar. We don't need that. Turn on the sonar for this guy as well. And the torpedoes are going to our right. I'm not really sure. It's hard to see quite yet. They will spot them eventually. They've been spotted. There they are. So we've just gotten well out of the way of those. And let's look at our sea state. It's a 5 with no layer. So we have a modest to poor chance of spotting where the the submarine may be. So what we're going to do is kind of go up here to what was the last known position of the submarine, because this is where the shots came from, as you'll recall. And we'll get into this area, and then we're going to stop. And it'll take a second for us to stop. We spotted him. There he is. And we can click this little button and go down here, and we can actually see this fella. Oh, we've lost him. Well, we lost him pretty quick. So he's probably dove on us. So what we're going to do is, are you under steam? No. But we know he's up here. So we're going to go speedy, 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 speed up here. And again, we're going to slow down. There he is. Now we're going to target him, order a depth charge attack. Now we're going to go back here with the McDonough, break formation with him. Now he's going to lose the sonar contact with him because he's gone over the top of him, and now he's dropping bombs on him. So as you can imagine, that makes it kind of hard to hear in the water where the submarine is. You can see the charges being tossed off the boat. Now I believe that was a relatively accurate attack. But we're going to kind of camp out here for a minute and see. I'll tell the hull to slow down, please. In fact, just stop. And try, and the McDonough should be able to locate it quite quickly here if it's still doing okay. Alright, so it is trying to slip away from us. We briefly reestablished contact. It's somewhere in between the two destroyers at the moment. At least that's where we saw it last. And so we're going to kind of zip over here. There he is. We're going to have the McDonough do a little bit of an attack here. See if they do any better. So again, lose contact with it, but we're right on top of him. We just want to get this guy in a good position to be in the general area. They can't see behind them. Imagine there's kind of like a big cone where the sound of the ship is coming from. You can't see directly behind you for quite a ways. So we're going to kind of get in here. There he is. Now he's managed to survive 2 depth chargings, believe it or not. Sometimes these guys are pretty good. So what we're going to do is kind of do a bit of a maneuver here. Now I don't know why he's just deciding I'm going to drop some depth charges, because you're not in the right spot at all. Well, he sunk him, so there you go. So we go and look at this guy. Oops. There we go. He's sinking. He's going down as well. Oh, unfortunate. But, well, that's what happens when you attack a pair of destroyers with a submarine. So there we go. We get some command points from that. And we're done with that. Just like kind of leave it. There's another float plane. Now I'm thinking I'm going to wait till the task force gets to the island here before we call the first video. And Task Force 19 is going to have another encounter. Sea states of 5, scattered. So this could be either. Could be another sub, could be that surface group. It looks like it's the surface group. There it is. So we're going to be... Now they've somehow got in front of us, which is odd. Doesn't really make any sense. We're going to have these guys turn, and they're going to be quickly retreating on their merry way. Now we can get a sense if this is the same group or not. They've decided they're going to go ahead and fire away at us. It doesn't look like it's the same group, actually. Well, it could be, actually. This was an AOB before, right? No, it's still an AOB. And this was a Takeo or a Takao. And it is. So it's the same group. Well, there you go. In case you were wondering, it's the same group or not, it is. They're just kind of establishing contact as they take fire. And leaving, and we're gone. So now we know those guys are about here. So, well, it's unfortunately nighttime, so we can't deploy any aircraft to kind of get influence into that conflict anywhere nearby. So what we're going to do is kind of dispatch this sub to kind of look around over here for us. Okay, he's found them. Now he claims it's a battle cruiser, which there aren't any in the game, and 3 light cruisers. That's a group of 6 very fast. So this is going to be the same group. He's just misidentified some of them. So here we are with the Greeling. If we click this, we can see. There we are. Ooh, a nice gatehouse submarine. Wow, we're very close to them. If that's anything to go by. They're there. They're really hard to see. So the first thing we're going to do is turn, throw our scope up. We're at periscope depth, I believe. And rotate, 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 stop. And we're going to stop our engine. Stop turning. We're going to look at this guy first in line here, which is that AOB. We want to give them a full spread of 6. They're calculating a solution. They'll be with us shortly on that. Now we already know that it's an AOB. Or an AOBA. AOBA. It's a Japanese ship. So we're going to go ahead and mark him as such. And if you are to correctly identify a ship when you're firing at it, your calculating solution should become better, as far as I understand. We're in a great spot. We're going to come on in a great position. We're going to fairly narrow, I mean, maybe just 1 degree on the separation there. Now, the sea state is making this a little tricky. We're having a hard time getting more than like a 40% solution here. We're going to wait. They're about 3,000 yards. We don't really want to fire from more, rather from less than 2,000 yards. So we're probably going to fire now at about 3,000. And what I'm going to do to compensate for the low score is just increase my spread, and we're going to fire that. Now that we fired that, what we're going to do is lower our periscope. We're going to go hard left, full speed. We'll be diving as well. And don't fear, because we'll still be able to see, even though it's going to say you've lost contact. We won't have. Now, there's no layer here. No, there isn't. But a sea state 5, just like we were searching for that other guy, they're going to have a hard time finding us. And it's looking good. If I could be honest with you, it's looking good. And there they are, just coming in now. They're gonna miss the big guy, it looks like. Now they might smack into this little fella. Nope, they're gonna miss him as well. Oh dear. Now I think we're gonna miss everything. Well, now we've missed everything. It's interesting you could fire that many torpedoes into such a large grouping like that and you could miss absolutely everything, but that's exactly what's just happened. So we're going to go up to periscope depth. We're going to stop. Take me back to the grilling, please. Now, if they're... Now, they're well in front of us. And they're cooking with gas, I believe. They're doing 23 knots. So what's happened here is I've blown this. But I'm going to blame the sea state because the sea state's very rough. It was hard to get a good read. There's no point in firing at these guys. They're going too quick. They're going to outrun the torpedoes. So we're done here, basically. And what I'm going to do is lower the scope and we're going to dive. And that way we can just leave. There we go. Boom. We're done. But we're not actually done because... there's a good chance we're going to spot those guys again. And we kind of knew the course they were going. They were going back this way, back towards the slot. You get about a 30-minute grace period every time that you're in a battle that that you don't have to, that you can't be attacked again, basically. And so we're going to start unloading stuff here. Sorry, I'm just pressing all the wrong buttons. There we are. So we've taken Rental Island. Cost 50 to upgrade this. Another 150 left. Another 100, and we've spent that. Now, there's no point in upgrading both at the same time. Although it would be good to get this up to a level 3, because then we could rearm our torpedoes and such here. And our depth charges, which would be nice. But that's a luxury we don't really have at the moment. And won't have for a little while. We're going to send these guys back home. And it's the middle of the night, so, or pretty late at night, so we can't send any aircraft. But if we look at Rental Island now we can't even look at it, you'd see that we have some Wildcats and some Avengers that we could send out to create havoc. Be great to send those out against those ships, should we see them again. We could send some torpedoes, deliver them straight into that guy, and probably hit him with some accuracy. But that's going to do for this episode. Let me know what you guys think about this if you want to see some more. I'll probably make at least another one episode, maybe two. If I get good feedback on it, then there'll be some more. So let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.